We're starting in about 2 minutes. This is just a quick sound test. Hi everybody and welcome. It is great to be with you tonight. Welcome to the Excel Spreadsheet Skunkworks. Just going to make a little adjustment to my desk there, and it's fantastic to be with you tonight. We've got a few people online who's with us in the chat. We've got Bart with us in the chat. I know it's your first time, Bart, so welcome. We've got David with us in the chat. David, welcome. We've got Me Note, M-I, not sure how to pronounce your name, but welcome, and I think it's your first time too. Let me know in your chat what your questions are about Excel VBA. I'll do my best to answer those. And I think that's everyone so far. And Jeff, welcome. Jeff's tuning in from Belgium. So Jeff, I believe it's your first time too. So welcome, and again, make sure you ask me your VBA questions. So I'm going to deal with some important information about the channel first. So clearly this is the new channel, the Excel Spreadsheet Skunkworks channel, and I felt it was necessary. I felt this channel was necessary because the views for the live streams on the other channel being Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions, the views for the live streams there were not very good at all, and I think it was harming what's called channel authority, which is the likelihood of the YouTube algorithm actually promoting your channel. So I didn't think it was what the audience wanted there, so I thought, why not create a new channel just for people who like live content. All the content on this channel will be live streamed, and then kind of takes the pressure off me, takes the pressure off people watching, and it means we can do our live content here. So what are you expecting from this channel? Well, it's not going to be the carefully edited, presented content. You'll get that on the other channel. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's going to be live content, and you're going to see how real coding works. In my view, this is the best way to learn coding, but it does take some application on the part of the learner. You've got to kind of work out, okay, he's doing some debugging now. Okay, he's doing some conceptualization now. It won't always be made explicit, but just by watching, you're going to be able to learn loads about Excel VBA. So that's kind of the vision for this channel. Now, what's happening with the other channel, Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions? So the chances are that's how you got to this channel. So we're going to keep the content there, one video a week, Fridays, probably a 10 to 15 minute video. And that content is going to be carefully edited, a proper presentation. So that's your proper kind of traditional learning. You like a short and snappy presentation, all of the information clearly presented, download file, work along, exactly what you come to expect from Tiger, hopefully. And we're going to continue with that on the channel. So every Friday, we're going to try to do a release on the other channel. But this channel, yeah, we're going to carry on with the Skunkworks. We're going to talk in a second about the future of the Skunkworks, carry on with the Skunkworks, and then I'm going to be doing live streams. When are these live streams going to happen? Well, we're going to have one on Tuesday, 6 o'clock UK time. That's a fixture. But the other live streams, they're going to happen as and when. So when I think I've got time to fire up a live stream, I'm going to fire up a live stream. So I can only say, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you got the notifications turned on to make sure that you're going to get these live streams. That's what I want this channel to be. So many times I get a comment or I get an email and I think, oh, if only I could do a little video now to demonstrate this. It's so much easier to do a video sometimes than to write out in a comment what you mean. So that's what it's going to be. I'm going to fire up a live stream, do a quick demonstration. If nobody's watching, doesn't matter. I'm just going to carry on. If some people are watching, that's great. I'll do my best to answer the questions, but that's the spirit of the live content. And then whoever's left the comment is going to have a video that I can link them to as well. As far as I know, I'm the only person on the YouTube and probably on the internet doing this. So it's kind of a unique venture, a little bit scary, a little bit intimidating for me. So it's great to have some support, some familiar names and some new people. So welcome everybody. So in the chat, so me, I'm going to call you me, M-I, but let me know how to pronounce your name. Please share the Excel files too. Yeah, all of the Excel files you see that I use on YouTube, I share, and they're all available on the website. So if you go to the website, go to, I won't put the link in the chat now because it's going to get too long, but take too long, but go to Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions online, Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions website, and go to articles at the top, and then I think it's on the third page. So go to the bottom and there's a number 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go to the 3, click on that. You're going to find the chess article. It's called Spreadsheet Skunkworks Excel VBA Chess Challenge. You can download all of the files that we use right there. It's the same with all the other videos that I do. The download files are on the website, and the links to the download files are under the video. So I always share all of the Excel files. So that's the future of this channel. Now, let's talk briefly about the Skunkworks. So I've been really happy with how the Skunkworks has gone. Talking about the chess series, of course, really happy with how the Skunkworks has gone. And hasn't got lots and lots of views, but it's got great commitment from the viewers. And I've been really happy to get some files in. So some people have been sending me their files. They've been doing their development, sending me their files in. That is absolutely fantastic. That is exactly what the channel is for, to get people trying to do VBA themselves. I always say, once you start practicing on your own, once you kind of release the shackles and you just try to do it yourself, you can make massive progress. So we've had David has sent me some files in, Andrew Button, I'm sure he won't mind me using his name, has sent some files in, and some other people have sent me some files as well. So this is great. Very happy with the engagement, and thank you so much for that. At the same time, it's getting more and more challenging to actually put the time into the series for me to push it forward. And this week, for example, I've been starting the new channel. All the time I'm doing my paid project work as well, which actually puts bread on the table for me and my family. So this week as well, I haven't had a lot of time to do preparation. It's getting to a kind of critical point of complexity where it really needs an hour or two preparation for me every week in order to do it. And I'm not sure I can commit that time to it. So I've got some ideas, and today I'm going to continue with it as normal and kind of go through the file, try to point out some things and try to make some progress. But looking ahead, I've got a radical proposal, and I hope David, let me know in the chat if you're listening to this one, because David is certainly like a candidate for this. But what I'm suggesting is we kind of share the development load and make it a kind of collaborative development project. So a team development project. So it's not just me doing the development, it's other people chipping in and doing the development. Now, there's different ways that other people could do the development. For example, I could take the file, send it to somebody else, and they could do an hour's development, send it back to me. Then I present it in the stream. That would be fine. But eventually I'd like to move to a situation where we've got multiple presenters on this channel. So someone like David, who's an experienced coder, and David, you're in the chat. Thank you for responding. David, I know Andrew is also a competent coder. Anybody really who wants to get involved, let me know if you're interested in doing this. So I'll kind of pass the file over to you for a few days. So we'd have to make sure that we don't duplicate the file. We have to make sure we know which file we're working on. Pass the file to you for a few days. You do like an hour or two development on it, and then I present that in the live stream. This is one way to do it. This is probably how we could start doing it. Alternatively, and maybe in the future, I'd like to have guests in to present these live streams. So for example, I know David's in the chat. Other people have kind of showed an interest in getting involved. So that's possibly something we could do. And that's how I see, that's my vision for this channel. It really is. I genuinely don't want it to be all about me. Obviously it's lovely having an audience and having some recognition on YouTube, but it's hard work. It's hard work doing the content, and I want to manage people's expectations properly. I can't turn out every week with a super clean presentation on some really complex coding, because that's where it's got to now. It's really quite complicated. So that's why I'm opening it up, And have we got potential for some kind of like collaborative project? And as I said, I think the first step would be, okay, so for example, David say, I'm not putting pressure on you, David, it's totally up to you, say yes or no. And there's other people who I know might be interested. So we say, okay, before next week, you do an hour's development on the file. And then in the live stream, I go through the development that you did. And, you know, I give you feedback on your development. And for you, I know your coding is very good. So the feedback's clearly going to be very positive. And I'm sure I can learn. And that's another thing, I can learn from other people as well. You know, it shouldn't be a one-way thing, this learning thing, you know, because I don't have the best approach. I have my approach, which has strengths and weaknesses, just like David has his, Andrew has his. We all have strengths and weaknesses. We can all learn from each other. So this is my vision for the chess series. As I said, don't think it's sustainable me doing it all on my own. So David says you can use anything I've already sent you. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible, David. I suppose I'm being super lazy with this. So I suppose what I'd want to do is send you the current file that we're going to look at in a second, and then for you to do some development on the current file, just a small piece of development on the current file, so that it's clear to the viewers the continuation from the previous file, you see. And this is the kind of thing we'd have to kind of negotiate and, you know, communicate well about, you know, what exactly are you going to do. So a little chunk of development, and we could then explain that in the next live stream. Anyway, so David, maybe we can talk about that if you're interested. Maybe you're not interested. Anybody else tuning into the stream? Now, Andrew said he's going to watch later. Shoot me an email. Let me know if you're interested in that. You know, if not, I'm happy to keep kind of pushing it forward, but I think progress is going to be quite slow. You know, a few people have already said, you know, progress is quite slow recently. Yep, totally. I agree, but it's because it's got to that level of complexity where it really needs that time investment. I haven't always got that time to put into it. Right. Let's see in the chat. So Bart's saying, Chris, I am now working on a VBA file. I need a solution to make VLOOKUP in VBA and make sum on the VLOOKUP result. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong way. So I'm looking at your comment in the chat, Bart. So I need a solution to make VLOOKUP in VBA. So you can call VLOOKUP application.worksheet function from VBA. If you look in the chess file, I think we do have an example of that. Yeah, if you look in the chess file, we definitely have an example of how to call VLOOKUP, which is of course an Excel formula. We can call those from the VBA editor. There's an example in the chess series. So go to the previous chess video, go to the link to the website, download the file, go through the code. There's a line of code which is application.worksheetfunction.VLOOKUP. Now take that example, see if you can adapt it for yourself. And then you say, make sum on the VLOOKUP result. Maybe I'm looking the wrong way. So I would say, Bart, you know, why are you doing the VLOOKUP in VBA? Is there a particular reason that you're doing the VLOOKUP in VBA? You know, usually when we're doing a VLOOKUP, we'd use a worksheet formula to do that. So when people are doing worksheet functions or advanced things in VBA, you know, I always want a specific, you know, a justification for that, because the simplest way is just to use a worksheet formula. So that's worth reflecting on, but can you do it just using a worksheet formula? You know, just because we're talking about Excel VBA doesn't mean we should solve everything with Excel VBA. It means some VBA is good at some things. Worksheet formulae are very good at some things as well. So it's getting the worksheet formulae doing the stuff they're good at, the code doing the stuff it's good at, and then getting the balance between those two. Hey, Michelle. Michelle, how are you? How's it going? And let me know, how are you going with the Office 365 subscription, Michelle? You should have the newest version of Excel on your system now. So enjoying all of the new features. Fantastic to have you, Michelle. Thank you for tuning in. And David says, I've developed it quite a few ways, so at the end we can focus on what part to develop in the current file. Yeah, that's exactly my point, David. So rather than me just suddenly producing your file, which as you said is quite well developed, we could start with the current file and say, okay, for next week, just develop this aspect. You know, I am asking you to do, you know, free work. So, you know, I can understand if you don't, you know, if that doesn't interest you, but, you know, we're trying to build, hope it doesn't sound too kind of warm and fluffy, but I'm trying to build a community here. So I've got to put in. But if we want to push it forward and want it to become something, not just a YouTube channel, something more than that, and that's where I want to go with it, then hopefully we can get people, you know, making contributions as well. Michelle said you're doing great. Fantastic stuff, Michelle. Okay, so they're the first two announcements. Now we've got a third announcement. Let me know in the chat if you are on the Tiger mailing list. If you're not on the Tiger mailing list, why not? You can only benefit from being on the Tiger mailing list. I think I send about one mail a month. And if I've got a particularly interesting video, I'll email you. And I'll email you with important announcements, including live streams. So I don't want to confuse everybody here, but we are having a live stream this weekend. And the reason I mentioned the mailing list is that if you're on the mailing list, you'll already know about this live stream. So this live stream is going to be on the normal Tiger channel. So at the risk of massively confusing everybody, I know I've already said this channel is for the live streams. We'll still have the occasional live stream on the main Tiger channel, but it will be a properly structured live stream with a facilitator who's likely to be Steve, who's my brother, who you can see in the photo, who's facilitated the previous live streams. And we'll be focusing on a big topic, a big topic that I think everybody who's using Excel can get value out of, not necessarily, an advanced coding topic, which is what the Skunkworks usually is, although not always. So this is happening. This is happening this Saturday, which is the 28th of September, 5 o'clock UK time. And the topic I'm really excited about is Excel meta skills. So let me know in the chat, what on earth is a meta skill? Well, I'll just give you a little flavor of what a meta skill is. And when we think about Excel, well, what do people think? What do people say when they're kind of good at Excel? You might say, already we've been talking about VLOOKUP in the chat. Somebody might say, yeah, I'm good at Excel, because I can do VLOOKUP. Or I'm good at Excel because I can do some VBA. I'm good at Excel because I can do some pivot tables. Now, there's no doubt the techniques are super powerful. And don't get me wrong, I love the techniques. But if you've just got the techniques, you're missing out on something very important. And these are the meta skills. The meta skills are things like debugging, things like planning, and other things that we're going to talk about on Saturday. So these are things we're kind of doing all the time when we're using Excel and using Excel VBA. They're the skills that bind the techniques together. So they're these overarching skills, which is why I call them meta skills, Excel meta skills. So if you can firstly realize what these skills are, realize they exist, and realize you've got to be kind of deliberate about them, about improving these skills, it's going to take your Excel to the next level. I'm absolutely sure about that. So we're going to be doing this presentation on Saturday. It's a live stream, the same kind of setup as this one. It's going to be a little bit more formal in terms of the structure. But absolutely tune in. We're going to have a presentation and taking questions, and Steve is going to be with us as well. So it's going to be good stuff. So let me know in the chat any questions on all of that. And Bart says, thank you, Chris, for the tip. The problem is that persons that work with the file are always deleting the Excel formula. God. Spreadsheets always work until people start using them. That's the problem, Bart. No, I feel for you there. People are always deleting the formula, and if they protect the cell, it gives another problem. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, Bart. Maybe you can protect the formula. Can you put the formula on a hidden sheet? So separate the formula onto a different sheet and then hide that sheet to keep it away from the users. Yeah, I can see why you want to put it in VBA now. So yeah, that is a justification for putting it in VBA. You want to hide it away from the user. But my first idea would be to do it in the worksheet as a worksheet formula, and then to hide the sheet. To make sure the users can't find it. And you could set it to Excel very hidden in VBA, and that would stop people unhiding the sheet as well. So let me know. And as I said, we've got an example of application.worksheet function in the chess file that we're going to have a look at in just a second. So as I said, we're going to be doing kind of, how can I say? Sporadic live streams on this channel, unscheduled live streams, and we did one last night. I think David was with us last night. Let me know if you tuned into the live stream last night, but I just want to demonstrate the kind of thing that we're doing, because we're going to cover some ground. We're going to cover some ground in these live streams, and I think the good thing about these live streams is you know, when I do a video, it's usually because I found something cool in my work that's really helped me. And so now I've got a vehicle. When I find something really cool in my work that's helped me, I can share it pretty much straight away. And I've been working on this this week, not this exact file, obviously, but I've been working on a similar mechanism for a customer. And we've got this data here. We've got our database here. We've only got 5 rows, but this because it's for demonstration purposes, you could have 50, 500, 5,000 rows. Then we've got buttons here. Now these buttons, they take the data and they put the data into this report, which is pretty cool. So for example, if I click here on the Nissan Leaf row, go to the report, and then we have Nissan Leaf. We've got the information coming in here. So I think this kind of thing is so applicable for people. You know, what are people doing in Excel? A lot of people are moving stuff around manually, clicking on a sheet, copy paste, click on another sheet. It's so manual, so frustrating. So this kind of code, moving data around, quickly generating a report, is going to help a lot of people out there. So this gives you an idea what we're going to be doing in the live streams. And this file, if you go to the other video on the channel, it's called Create Reports Using Excel VBA. You can go to the first video on the channel, or it might be the second video, well, the first live stream on the channel. You can find this video, and you'll find 2 links there as well. So Bart was asking for, or me, I think we're asking for Excel files, and you can find 2 links there. You can find the link for the file at the beginning, so you can download that and work along, and then you can find the link for the file at the end, which has all of the code in. So hopefully there you've got a nice Excel tutorial. And as I said, this is the stuff I'm using in my work. You know, I don't have any magic dust or any secret techniques that I'm using myself. This is the stuff that gets the job done for me and my customers. So this is an example of what we're doing. Who's in the chat? Paul's in the chat. Welcome. Raining in Barnsley, and I've lost my voice as well. Paul, why have you lost your voice, mate? Was it the excitement of the live stream last night? You know, screaming at the screen, punching the air when we got the job done. You know, that resonates with me. But why have you lost your voice, Paul? Let us know. Okay, and David said, yeah, proves my point, really. We've got, you know, 7 or 8 people in the chat. One of them is currently working on moving data around. David here is saying writing code at the moment to move data around. What I love about this approach is we've got this table here on the engine sheet, and this controls the whole process. So if you want to move another piece of data around, you don't have to even go to the VBA editor. This is insane how powerful this is. You don't even have to go to the VBA editor. You can just add another entry in these cells and the report will automatically incorporate it. That's how easy it is. A great illustration of worksheet and VBA working together. Super powerful code. And this is the technique I use for moving data around a file, and I'm using it this week on a client project. So let's get rid of that file for now. Okay, there we go. And now we're into our chess file. Cool. Okay. So this file, if you want to download this file, you can go to the previous chess video, and go to the link. Link will take you to the website, the article on the website. You'll be able to download the file there. So where have we got to here? Right, we're going to try to line up the VBA editor. It can be difficult. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, Windows always try. Does anybody know an easy way to do this? Windows always tries to resize things. I don't need it resizing. There we go. Something like that will be fine. And pull this across here. So the stage we've got to, you know, and I'm not suggesting we do massive development tonight, but the stage we've got to is what in episode 19, episode 18, 19, 20, we actually went to a new file. And we developed this code in a different file to get away from, you know, the hustle and bustle of everything that was going on in this file. And this is a new concept that we have implemented in this file. And yeah, we've got a table here on the engine sheet. And just on sheet 1, well, I don't think we're actually doing anything on sheet 1, but perhaps that will be useful later for demonstration purposes. So we'll retain that sheet. There's a third sheet in the file which is called sheet 1. If you download the file, you'll be able to see it there. And yeah, so how is this working? Well, we've got a different concept And this concept here, we're talking about up moves, down moves, left moves, right moves. So up means we start at the piece. We're going to start at the piece, wherever the piece is, and we look at the squares going up. Now, we introduced this concept because we were having problems with blocking pieces. We were having problems with blocking pieces, how to kind of program that. By counting away from the piece, it means if we get to a piece on a square, then we stop counting. So that allows us to account for blocking pieces. So this was the idea, and it's working for the rook. But it's not currently working for the queen. I can demonstrate that now. So we've got the rook here, and then we've got the queen down at the bottom here, and for the queen it's not currently working. So that's where we've got to so far. So yeah, at the moment we're in a kind of how would we say, a developmental phase would be a bit of a euphemism. You know, it's currently not working, and it needs, you know, a spurt of development. And the complexity of the code, as I said, it's probably too complex for me to do that live now, which is why I'm proposing that we do it collaboratively. And David's already got back to me and suggested that he's happy to help. So yeah, so I'm not going to push this forward now. So, you know, this stream is pretty much going to be a few announcements and a few questions. But so David, yeah, if you want to take this forward, so this is the file that we're going to work with. Me says, what's exactly in the worksheet? So which worksheet are you talking about here, Me? Me says, what exactly is in the worksheet? So we've got 3 sheets in the file. On the first sheet is called board. We've got the board there. Second sheet is called engine. So this is all information that's supporting the functionality. And if you go through the code, Me, are you a beginner? Yeah, I think you said you're a beginner. So I'd actually recommend, Me, that you don't start with this file because this is a reasonably advanced file. I'd suggest going through our VBA for Beginners series with buttons on the left side. Okay. Yeah, so Me, you're talking about the previous file, which I've actually closed now. And I don't think I'll be able to locate it. But if you go to yesterday's live stream, Me, go to yesterday's live stream. This is going to be a better starting point for you. Go to yesterday's live stream. So go to the channel page, yesterday's live stream, which is called Create Reports using Excel VBA. Go there and work through that video. That's going to be a much better starting point. That's also not beginner level. Okay, that's also not beginner level, but that's going to be a better starting point for this. But Me, if you want beginner level stuff, go to the Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions channel. Okay, not this channel. Go to the Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions channel. And there's a playlist on there, which is called Excel VBA for Beginners. Or you could even, if you just type in Excel VBA for Beginners to YouTube search, you'll get to the video that's at the top of the playlist. So if you're a beginner, I'd say don't start with this because it's going to overwhelm you quite quickly because it's complex. So yeah, so Paul says the one from last night. Yeah, so Me, go to the video from last night, or the best way, YouTube search Excel VBA for Beginners, and then just you'll find the video. You'll recognize me. You'll find the video there, and you'll be able to do that. Right. Yeah, so fairly short stream tonight, I'm thinking, guys. But let me know if you got any other questions before we get going. So yeah. Probably no live coding in this stream, but we've got yesterday's video. If you want to get your coding fixed, we've got yesterday's stream. You can have a look through that. And as I said, I'm going to be doing spontaneous streams on this channel. So make sure you've got you're subscribed and you've got the notifications turned on. Let me know if you got any final questions in the chat. So I'll just go through my kind of parish notices again. So hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. For the MetaSkills live stream. So that's going to be Saturday at 1700 UK time, 5 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. So hopefully see you then. And then, yep, David, I'll be in touch with you via email and we'll see if we can get this collaboration going. So yep. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, guys. We're going to do the Tuesday live stream here every week, and hopefully next week we would have made some progress with a slightly different approach. So we'll have the Tuesday live stream, then we're going to be having kind of spontaneous live stream, so it'll be worth being subscribed to this channel. Then we've got the Saturday stream the Saturday stream on the other channel. Okay, so hopefully I will see you on Saturday.